Hi everyone, my name is Otis. You're welcome to Otalem's Academy. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all of you that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. And if you have not done that, please just hit the subscribe button and the notification so that you can get an alert if I published a new video. So I have a very interesting topic for us today, and that is 6 reasons why your site is not showing up on Google. So, and at this point in time, you are wondering, after all your hard work, why is it that your site is not showing up on Google and other search engines? You've done your research, you did domain research, you searched for your web hosting, and you set up your website, and you've written good quality content, and your friends are telling you that they can't find your website, and that's really very frustrating. And I have been there. So because you're waiting for the traffic to start rolling in, and you want to confirm what your friends and family are telling you, that they can't find your website or your blog on the internet. So you go on Google and you decide to type your website, and it can't seem to come up. You're not seeing your website. So that's the bad news, because several things might have contributed to your website not showing up on Google. But the good news is that many of these issues can actually be fixed. And in this tutorial, we'll be discussing how to fix it. So as we go further to explore the 6 possible reasons why your site is not showing up on Google and how you can fix the issue. So I want you to understand that it is important for you to know when you are going into, if you go into Google or other search engine to search for information, to search for your website, and most time our expectation is that we are going to pull up our landing page, probably our home page. So when we get there and we find out that
I didn't get that.
so many
Could you
pages
try
comes up, so but the expectation, I would just want to make a clear distinction, so that when we are optimizing our website, so we understand certain things, that your pages, the pages that you want to show up are probably the most important pages of your website. But absolutely, you want all your web pages to show, because that's the reason why your website is that's the reason why you publish your website or you start your blog. So if Google don't is unable to find your website, or don't know anything about the existence of your web pages, and when that happens, so there's no way that your site can be ranked. So for you to do that, if these things are happening, so there are so many things that you have to do. So I'm just going to go through some of those steps before we go into the reasons why your site is not showing up on Google. So as I'm doing this, if you have a question, so you can always just send in your questions, or if you want some areas that I want to touch, so you can also send us a note. You can also send us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. So I'm going to look at some of those notes that for you, it is important that your website are accessible by search engine and Google. So if you have a page that is relevant, and when you are optimizing your site, please make sure that you optimize your web pages for users. I know most time website owners or blog owners or business owners make this mistake of optimizing for search engine. But if you look in the past, there have been so many changes by Google and other search engine in terms of the algorithm updates. So we are now in the era of search intent, so trying to decipher what the user is likely going to use to search for your website, your product or services that you are offering to the general public. So if you've demonstrated all this to Google, then your page is worthy of ranking for your target search query. So now we're just going to get started. We want to go through some of these factors that is preventing your website from showing up on Google. Because the most important thing why you want your website to show up in Google is because the more you are visible, the chances that you make more sales, you get more conversion, then that will increase your revenue or your bottom line. So that's why it is very, very important. That's why everyone wants to be on search engine result pages or on Google. So one of those reasons that from experience that I've seen in the course of my practice is if your website is new, so it takes time for Google to actually pick up your website and your web pages. So when I'm talking about website, I don't want us to get confused when we talk about the website. Most time, our perception about the website is just our homepage. Everyone wants to just optimize their homepage, but in the actual sense, it could be all your pages. Then the most relevant page that you want to guide a customer, where you want the customer, the first destination port that you want the customers to land on your website, that's what the destination page, and these are the pages that you pay more attention to. So it is very, very important. So if you only launch your site, let's say 2 days ago or today, and you want Google to just index, scroll and index your site, most time it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that there are exceptional cases that you launch your website and it's live and it's going. So that is exceptional. So then the first thing that you need to do, if your website is new and is not coming up in search engine or in the in Google, so you want to check whether Google, if actually Google know whether your site, your website or your blog exists. So how do you do that? So you go into Google or other search engine. So you type in your website URL, the link, just put it there through the search button, and you click it. So what happens is that the algorithm is going to search its database to see if your site has been indexed or it has been crawled. So if there is at least one result, that means that Google knows about your site. But if there are no results, I'm talking about the new site that is newly published. So if there are no results, then know that Google can't find your site. So then there's a little problem, but it's not something that you have to worry about if it's a new website. So probably you might need to wait for some time, maybe give it a few days. Then Google might pick it because its algorithm work around the clock looking for a new website, updated content. So let me go back to if you can't find your site on Google and you typed in everything, it's not coming out. So what you need to do is you go back to your site, create a sitemap. So once you create a sitemap is a kind of the hierarchy of your site. It's just a kind of a tree, giving a kind of instructing, making it easy for search engine to know how your website is laid out. So that's what the sitemap does. So that makes it easy for Google and other search engine. So once you create your sitemap, just like as you have organizational hierarchy, so you can have your site hierarchy, and that is called the sitemap. So once you create that sitemap, then you create an account which is called, you go into Google, search for Google Search Console. So if you don't have an account, all you need is just your Gmail account. So once you create that account, then it takes you into Google Console. So when you get into the Google Search Console, then you go straight into the section, look at the dashboard. So you go into that section where you have the sitemap. So once you click that sitemap, then it display a window, a search window, and that search window will tell you to enter the URL of your website. So once you enter that URL, then you hit or you tap the submit button. So once you've done that, so you're facilitating the time that Google is going to crawl and index your site rather than waiting for Google to crawl it. So you're taking your case to Google, telling them, please, I want you to crawl my website. And what happened? Google will crawl the website and index it. Crawling website, let me define that. Crawling website is Google looking at your content, if it is relevant enough, if it is in compliance with their rules, for them to put your entire database, your information on your website, on their own database. So if it is relevant and is in compliance, there's no adult content. So once they go through that site, that process of going through your site, they scan through your site, is called the crawling. So after that, they index it, that is, put it in their database, so that when users are searching for information relating to your site, they will present your site or that relevant page to the searcher's query. So that is why it is very, very important for your site to be indexed. So if your site is not showing up on Google, it's something that you need to worry about. It is something that you need to act promptly. So once you've done that, that can speed up the discovery process for Google to index your site, as I've just said. So like I said, if you're a new website, don't panic. Don't panic. So because your site is new. So but you have to follow this step that I've mentioned. So the next is that's the second one, is if your web page does not align with the search intent. So this word search intent came up in the last Google algorithm update. So Google and other search engines are beginning to focus on user experience. So for quite a long time now, I think Google first update was in 2011. So ever since, they've been regular update. Regular update is that based on the user's experience, how the users are interacting with your website, Google want to enhance that experience. They want to make it flawless for the users. And also Google also want retention. So they want to make sure that the customers are getting the relevant information. So as a result of that, they come up with regular update based on this the user's past history. So we're going to look at it now about if your web page does not align with the search intent. So Google aims to actually rank the most important and most relevant web pages that satisfies a user's query. So I just want to slow a little bit down here and explain this search intent, because most bloggers, most website owners still don't understand this. And not all the website owners, business owners, or blog owners actually read this update, but they understand that their traffic is dropping. So then that's when they begin to get worried, for some of them that at least that want to know. So that is why it is essential to actually align your content with what the searchers want to see. So I'm going to give an example. So if you're selling food item, you sell vegetables. So you're going to look at what are the ways that the users are likely going to search for vegetables. There are different vegetables. So, and your ability to get to predict what the searchers are likely going to use, or the word which is called the keyword that they are likely going to use to find the kind of product that you're offering to the general public, is very, very important. So once you discover that, which is a kind of keyword, so you can actually use those words, to optimize your web pages or the relevant pages. So that's what the search intent, like I said, that's what it is all about. What is the users? What are they thinking? Oh, I'm looking for a plumber. I'm looking for a builder. So there are different type of plumbers. So then sometimes you want to localize the search term. So you want to say plumbers near me. So that is the word, that's the kind of keyword that have a local search intent, and it gives you that's where you have more conversion rate. So also, let's say that you're looking for let's say that you're looking for let's say you're looking for a bank, and you want this page, you're asking for, oh, you're looking for a bank, the nearest bank. This is a broad keyword, bank. So there are different types of bank. You want to be specific, because the searchers or users are likely going to mention the type of bank that they are looking for. It is possible that they are looking for the bank's ATM. So now you're beginning to localize your keyword to satisfy the user search intent. And you want your page to show up on the page of Google by using this local search keyword. So you can choose American Bank ATM near me. You can put Bank B ATM in Gloucester, in Dortmund. So wherever you are, so you decide to use that term, and you use that to optimize your web page. So what happened? You are satisfying the searcher's intent, and which is very, very important if you want your pages to show up for this keyword, because the competition is high. So you have to look for that unique differentiation that will make your website stand out when users query Google for certain information. Whether you're a blogger, you're a website owner, you're an e-commerce owner. So these terms are applicable, these rules are applicable to any type of content or your niche. So localizing your search intent is very, very important. That doesn't mean that if you're going with the generic terms, that it's not going to satisfy the user's query. So it's a choice that you have to make at some point in time when you're doing your research and optimizing your site. Remember that we're talking about the reasons why your site is not showing up on Google. So if you look at the top ranking result for this term, so when you now come up with a search term, or you want to research, you know the topic that you're writing about, so you want to research the term, you can use keyword tools. There are different keyword tools on the internet. You have some free ones, you have some paid ones. So you have the Google Keyword Planner, you have the Keyword Explorers, you have the Spyful, you have the SMrush, you have the MOZ, the Moz. So there are many keyword rank. So you have a lot of tools for you to look at what the global search is, what is the local search is. So you can use that to optimize your web pages. So what are the things that you are looking, what are the metrics when you are looking for the keyword to use on your web page? Remember that we're talking about the search intent, satisfying the search intent. So if you, what you're looking at this keyword, you're looking at the domain rating. You're looking at the some of the URL ratings also, and so many other things. You're looking at the global search. You're looking at how competitive that that keyword phrase, keyword term is. So you're looking at, is it low in competition? So you want to be in between. So that's absolutely very, very important. It's a decision that you have to make at some point in time. So the next one is if you have a non-indexed on your site. So most times, some bloggers, some website owners are not aware of this, especially if you have outsourced the development of your website. So sometimes the developers put this non-index code in your website because it's going through the development stage or process. So they don't want Google to index that page. So they turn that non-index off. So depending on the content management system that you are using. So if you are using WordPress, so you can actually install different plugin like the Yoast plugin, which makes it easy for you. So you can go back to check each of the page. So when you log into the page, if you're using the Yoast plugin, then you can go down, scroll down, and you see the non-index. If that page, if the non-index is checked, so that means you're not granting Google access or other search engine access to index that page and to crawl that page. So what you do, you uncheck it. But if you're not using WordPress, you can actually go into your theme editor and go into the theme editor, logged in, and look at your HTML code. Just search for where you have the non-index, and you look at the page that is pointing into. So you can change that also. So I think we talked about that in my previous video. So like the non-index is just a piece of a code which is blocking search engines from indexing your site. Indexing, I think I talked about it. It's just about making sure that you are in compliance with Google rules before they now said, okay, we can have this website, the content of this website in our database. So that is why when you go on the internet, you're searching for some information, or you're searching for a product. So Google present different one. You see a lot of drop down. When you click it, you see different information relating to either the product you're searching for or the services. So what those Google is presenting what it feels that is relevant to your search. So that's why it is important for you to pay attention to all these factors that could impact negatively on your visibility on the internet. So if you tell Google not to show certain pages in your search result, then Google will not. If you don't open your door for Google, Google will not get into your website. So opening your door is on checking that non-indexed on that particular page so that they can have access to look at what your content is. So that I don't forget, if you're a blogger, you're a website owner, and you are optimizing your site, make sure that the content, the words in your content in a particular page should not be less than 300. Should not be less than 300. This is very, very important for you to know that. So if, like I said, if you're not using WordPress, so you can actually put your, once you see that you see the non-index, which is a piece of HTML code, the way it looks like if you're going into your theme editor. So you have a kind of is it inverted angle? You have meta name, which is equal to robots, then content equals to non-index. So that's how it shows up on your HTML code. So any page that have that non-index will not be indexed by Google. So even if you created a sitemap and you've submitted it to the Google Search Console, so Google is not going to crawl that because you've already instructed Google not to crawl that page. So it is very, very important because once you have this piece of code, that page will remain dormant. It won't show up on Google or other search engine. So it's easy if you're using WordPress. Like I said, you just go install the plugins. There are numerous plugin SEO plugins. I talked about the used. There are also different ones that you can see on the place there, so you can actually check if anything is wrong. So when you're setting up your website, so if you've contracted someone to develop your website, so once you publish, just go through each of these pages to make sure that you don't have a non-indexed code on each of those pages. So it's very, very simple. So it's also something that like I said, a lot of developers, they used to prevent Google during the development process. So don't forget to remove it, please. Either before you publish or after you publish, just make sure that you check it. So then another reason that we'll have to look at that, not that the non-index is bad, because there are some pages that you don't want Google to another search engine to have access to. So that's where you use the non-indexed HTML code to prevent Google from crawling that page. But if you want more, if you want to learn more about how to access the HTML code, you can inbox us privately, and we can have a section with you to show you how to remove the non-index. And how to check it if your page is non-indexed. That is easy and simply open. All you need to do, one of the ways, so I don't forget. So you can actually go into your web page and you right click. So when you right click, go through, you open the source code of that particular page. Once you open the source code, you will see that information, so you can read it and see non-index, so you can actually read it. So like as I said, you can give us a call, you can send us an email, so we can walk you through how to do that. So another is we're going to the fourth one, and I've had quite a lot of people tell me that, oh, Google can't crawl my site. Google can't crawl my site. Google can't crawl my site. So all you need to do is just to tell Google to crawl your site. I think I talked about the submitting your site map to Google. So blocking crawlers. This is one of those reasons. Check your robot test, robot.test, because this is a kind of this file is a surefire way to never get any traffic. So it blocks the search engine crawlers. So make sure that you look at your robot test. So blocking robot test is actually easier than you might think. So like I keep talking about, WordPress is one of the simple and easy content management system, which is also one of the most popular content management system in the world right now. Over 60% of blog website owners and bloggers are actually using that. So WordPress has a kind of a search engine visibility setting, so that you can actually use, you can discourage search engine from indexing the site. You can also take that off. So it does the utmost best to keep the crawlers out. So that's why I said it, pay attention to that. You see, these are little things that can give a kind of, that can make you, that can frustrate you if you don't know how to handle it. So once Remember, I talked about the robot test, sitemap. These are very, very important for you to pay attention to if you just publish your website or your website has been in existence and you're not showing up on Google. So another thing that we're going to look at is your content. So if your content is not, if you don't have a quality content on your web pages, that could also affect your visibility on search engine and on Google. There are numbers of technical reasons why your site doesn't show up in Google, so that's what we are going through. But that's not the entire story. It can also be your content. It can also be your content because your content is very, very vital for your search ranking and your search visibility. So your content may not be good or authoritative enough for Google to pick up some specific keyword phrase. So the keyword phrase, I talked about keyword in my previous video. That's a whole lot of tutorial also. So if you have not watched my video, so you can go to my YouTube channel, how to increase your visibility. So I talked extensively on keyword phrases. So how to use specific keyword phrases to optimize your web pages. So think about it as human being. Think about it as human being. How do you find certain information on a particular site? You're looking for an information. So as a website owner or as a blog owner, so these are the things that you think that goes through your mind, or that should go through your mind when you are optimizing your site. Because if your site is not showing up on search engine or Google, your business, your site is dead. So it's dead. So that's why your content is actually the king, because that's how your site advertises its content to the outside world. So if your content are not showing up, maybe the case your content is not matching up with what searchers is expecting. So you need to tweak your content. So this could be the reason why you're not seeing your site on the first page, on the pages of Google and other search engine. So what do people search for? In what terms? What do they mean to do? This, I'm talking about the searcher's intent now. It's still coming up when you're writing your content. You're not just only writing for search engine, you're writing for users, because they are the reason why you are setting up your website. So that's the reason. So when you're writing your content, make sure that it has that human element. Very, very important. So to keep that in mind, because your site, keep that in mind that you're operating in a highly competitive environment or industry. So if you're not having good content, or you're not focusing on long tail keywords, then it may be impossible for you to get good ranking or good visibility on search engines. So another important factor that we're going to look at is know enough high quality backlinks. Backlinks are very, 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 very important. Very, very important. Even if nothing is stopping Google from finding your page, you still need to let Google know that your site deserves to rank well on its pages. So you now want to compel Google. You want to be attractive. You want to make your website attractive for Google to actually crawl an index, that your site is worthy of being on the first page of Google. So while there are hundreds of factors that that is at play in Google's algorithm when they are crawling and indexing websites. But the number of backlinks, when we're talking about backlinks, we're talking about people who are linking to your site and how your site is actually linking to each other to relevant pages on your website. So that number of backlinks or add inbound links from unique website to some pages on your website should be very, very strong. What I'm talking about is that if you are investing or you're seeking for inbound link, make sure that those websites have high domain authority and high page rank authority. So once you do that, Google can actually, when it's crawling those pages, it can follow those links to your website because those backlinks are juice to your website. So if the web pages, if the web pages is ranking well, that means just you if you want your web pages to rank high, so you need more backlinks. You need to list your website in different directories. So if you don't have enough backlinks, this could also be one of those reasons why your site is not showing up on Google, because that integrity is not there, that transparency is not there. This has nothing to do with your content now. So I don't want you to miss that up, that I've had good content. Yes, you have good content. Come to look at it this way. You have, you just build a house somewhere in a remote place, beautiful house, or in the GRA, beautiful house. Nobody know about that house. There's no signpost to the house. Nobody have information to the house. So nobody knows the number of bedroom that is in the house. So, and you'll be losing substantial amount of traffic because there's no information that is compelling enough to make people who are looking for a house to rent. Now, it could be that you have a 1 bedroom down your basement or somewhere back in the house that you want to rent out. But when this information are not readily available, so it is hard for you to get people to ask for that, to actually get that information. So it works in a similar way like your website pages. So if you're not telling Google what is on that page, Google has no way of actually doing that for you. So that's why you have to use relevant keyword, the backlinks. So when you are linked to multiple websites, not just linking, because in the past, during the time when Google was paying so much attention to backlinks, people have different domain. They just set that up. Just you link to me, I link to you. So a lot of people were doing that, and they were being rewarded, making Google feel that they're doing the right job. But the site that is linking back to them doesn't have that high page rank authority nor the domain authority. So in the actual sense, there's no value that that site is adding to their site. But they're trying to game the system to make Google feels that, okay, since the more backlink that I have, then the more that I'm going to likely move up on the search engine result pages. So Google in their next updates were able to punish some sites that have engaged in that unethical practices to game the system. So if you're also joining in, what we are discussing is 6 reasons why your blog or your website is not showing up on Google. So, and we've been having series of search engine optimization tutorials, how to rank your site. It doesn't matter whether you're a YouTuber also, so you can also rank your YouTube videos, following some of these tips that have actually been given from the beginning of this tutorial. So if you're a YouTuber also, the backlink is also very important to your YouTube videos, because you are, that is just a kind of, you're having the more network of friends that you have, it's just like having the more network of friends. So can you imagine, you're just looking for a job, you're just sitting in your bedroom, and you're expecting for a miracle to happen for you to just get a job. The job can't find you. The job can't find you. But employers are recruiting every single day. But do you have that information about that vacancy? So it works in a similar way. So when you have your website, so this network of links that you create, so it's creating a kind of exposure for your brand. So you're spreading your tentacle, you're creating your visibility. On Facebook, you're on Facebook. On Twitter, you're on Twitter. You're on Yep. You're on Google My Business. You're on Foursquare. You're on different directories. So once these are the directories that have high domain authority and high page authority, when you are building link, the first thing you consider is what is the value of this domain that is referring, that is sending referrals to your website. So to check that, to see the number of unique website referring domains linking to your page, so you can paste your URL into Site Explorer, or you can also check in SMrush. I use SMrush. I use Moz. So, or Spyful. They're going to show you the quality of your backlinks. So it's very, very important for you to check the referring domains versus the number of keyword rankings. And this information that I've given to you has been highlighted in my ebook. If you go to Amazon, you look for the ultimate guide to on-page SEO for beginners by Otis Alimeke. So you will learn how to rank number one in on Google, and how you can grow your business on the internet. So the book is so detailed. Um, Not so much, so you'll be able to. The book is so detailed, but not so voluminous. To make it easy, I highlighted the most important things that you need to know. So once you get there, just go to Amazon. So you'll find the book very, 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 very interesting, and that book is going to teach you from A to Z. So it's very, very simple to understand. We break it into the the simplest language to make you understand what SEO is, because SEO is actually very, very important to your online visibility, because we all want to grow, we all want to make money from our website, we all want to make money from our blog, whether it is e-commerce, whether you're in the auto industry, well, no matter what the kind of business that you're doing. So visibility is very, 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 very important. So a quick reminder again, like I said, if you are watching us, the title today is 6 reasons why your blog or your website is not showing up on Google. And also, before I go for that, I just want to tell you also, we offer SEO services for businesses, for blog owners, to make sure that you're showing on the first page of Google with the chosen keywords. So we've helped websites rank high on Google in the past, so we can also do that for you. So our website is actually Otalium's Academy. So where we highlighted this, that's our blog. Then we have also our website, the Afro Tutors, that actually go through the entire SEO from A to Z. It takes you through what you need to know or what you ought to know. So no unnecessary details. It's just straight to the point how you can optimize your website. So why am I saying that? Because I've had quite a lot of people, this backlink, we don't know how to search for backlinks. How do I get backlinks? So first of all, my advice is when I hear people tell me the backlinks, and the first thing that I call, what is your niche? Because the site that you want to link to or the site that you want to link to you, make sure that they are relevant, that they are going to add value to your website. It's very, very important. So we are still on quality backlinks. So I'm going to talk about the quick reminder. So the Google rank, how Google rank web pages, not website. I think it is important that we get the distinction. So because most time we spend so much time on your homepage, it's very, very important that our homepage, that we need to optimize our homepage, make sure that it is ranking. But it's not just one page, because Google does not actually rank website; it ranks the web pages. So that is why you find out that some web pages are showing in search engines, others are not showing. So, like I said, so if your homepage, if you're also optimizing your homepage, make sure that you are using specific keyword, because it's important to make sure that you're paying attention to number of people who are referring to your web pages. So this is, I'm talking about the backlinks again. So, and I'm just going to give this. So what I did, like based on the client I've heard before, so we've been able to classify different niche. You talk about the auto, you talk about the insurance, is the e-commerce business, whatever niche that you are. So uh, I and my team have done a great job in terms of trying to classify, giving you a kind of a boost, having a startup that you don't have to go doing quite a lot of research and looking for backlinks. So what we did was that we've captured a lot of directories that have high domain authority and page rank authority based on their niche. So if you need that, so you can actually send us a private. You can send us. You can send us a message. We display that email is on display here, so you can send us. You can message us privately. So we'll walk you through. We have substantial directories for your backlinks, depending, no matter the industry that you are, and we keep updating our database to make sure that we capture quite a lot of relevant directories that we add value to your website. So, and also remember that somebody asked me that he's a blogger. So how do I optimize my blog? So the first thing that your the foundation, the structure of your website is very, very important. So you need to look at the foundation of your website, like most of those things that we've discussed, especially when it comes to non-indexed HTML code that has appeared or showed on your web pages. Make sure that you've checked that the structure of your website, the content, the content that you are the content that you're showing to the general public or to the users must be relevant enough that other search engines are likely going to pick your website. That is very, very important. So, for a recap on what we've talked today, I just want to go through that. Like I said, what I was discussing today is the reasons why your website is not showing up on Google, and how you can tackle this issue to make sure that your site is showing up on Google. So, for those who just publish their website or their blog, uh, you don't have to panic. You can just exercise little patience. But if you don't want to do that, you can help Google to actually look at your website. So by creating a sitemap and submitting it to Google Console. Then we talked about aligning your web pages with the searcher's intent, what that users are likely going to use to search for your website. So we also talked about the quality of your content. If you are, I'm just recapping these for those who are late or just joining us. So the topic is also the reason why your blog or your website is not showing up on Google and other search engine. So another reason is if your site, if you have non-indexed HTML code, like I said before, on your site, then the we talked about no backlinks if you don't have enough backlinks on your site, and also if Google can crawl your site, if you have the robot test, so you need to check that. And we also talked about how you can go about to know where these things are on your pages. So I believe that we are almost coming to the end of this presentation. So if you have a question, you can just send it to us. Like as I said, if you want to boost or to increase your online presence, so you can send us an email to otalims@gmail.com. You can, our website is still in the maintenance mode. Probably in the next 1 week, we'll be able to publish that. So you have quite a lot of enormous resources to go through, everything that we're discussing also. So we've just also put it together from how you can start optimizing your website. All you need to do, from the simple keyword, meta description, and title description, to technical SEO, how to solve that. But this book, On Page SEO for Beginners, the ultimate guide to on page SEO for beginners, we answer all your SEO questions, especially if you're starting, because SEO could be sometimes overwhelming if you don't know the rules of the game. So that is why we are taking time to actually break this down. If you have been following us, I think we've discussed quite a lot from the beginning, how to, on the different type of SEO, what to focus on and what not to focus on your page. So again, I just want to say thank you. But if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please just do that. Do that, just follow us. And if you have a question or you have comments, or you want us to look at your website, or you want us to do a comprehensive site audit to actually know what the problem is on your website, just send that. We can do the site audit for you for free, so you'll be able to know what to focus on. But if you want to do it yourself, that could also take you quite some time. But if you watch all our video, maybe you'll be able to pull those things together. But it's quite sometimes overwhelming. If you can't do it yourself, you can outsource it. There's nothing wrong in you outsourcing your SEO, because this, it keeps changing. You have to keep trend with Google update and other search engine update. So some of those tools that you can use, like I said, Spyful, SMrush, Moz, use Google Keyword Planner. So don't forget your Google Search Console, and also remember to list your business on Google My Business. Try to be on Yelp and other different directories. So like as I said, if you want, tell us your niche. So we have the a lot of that. We have a list of directories for different niche that can help you to get started, because backlink is very important for your website or your blog. If you don't have that, your site is dead. And again, also, internal linking is also very, very important. Linking to relevant pages on your website. And how you can do that also, before I close, I think let me just talk on that. So how you can do your internal link. So if your page, you can use your blog page, the articles, you can link to the articles on your blog page, or you can also link from your blog page, the articles that you've written. You can also interlink with the pages that have those relevant information that your blog is talking about. So that is also very important if you are planning out your blog content. So make sure that it is relevant to your business, what you are offering to the general public. So once you have that, so that will make it easy when you are linking internally, because linking internally could also boost your SEO. Could boost your SEO very, very well. I've seen that. We've done that. I see that every single day. So internal linking is very, very good. So that is why just try, even if it's 2 or 3 or 4, just link to different pages. Make sure that they are interlinked. These are just some of those top secret, that this is just little secret that you can use to increase your site ranking. So it's very, very important. So I just want to say thank you. So if this is your first time, so we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, follow us, and we also have a group on Facebook which is called the African SEO and Bloggers Forum. So in that forum, we ask quite a lot of questions. We want to learn from each other, and we have a lot of experts that are going to answer your question, no matter how difficult it is. So long as it is SEO, you create how to create your visibility. So we are there to help you. So just join the group, follow us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn. So we'll be there for you. So just want to say thank you for watching us and for spending your time to listen to this tutorial. So have a great day. So I look forward to see you in our next tutorial.